Hello, my name's Jim Howard, and today's date is November 23rd, 2006. I'm a day late, but I want to record something about where I was when John F. Kennedy was assassinated. I'm going to try to make this kind of brief. I could go, I was, before John F. Kennedy was elected, 4 years before, I supported him. I voted, he was the first president that I voted for. I voted by absentee ballot. I was in welding school in Cleveland, Ohio. Missouri was my home state. And I voted for him by absentee ballot. And I could go into some things, but let me try to make this brief. It's difficult for me to, I ramble. John F. Kennedy was assassinated November 22nd, 1963. I, at that time, was doing a radio program that was broadcast over WRUL Radio, New York. Radio New York Worldwide. I was in Kansas City, Missouri. I recorded it, and it was sent to New York City, and it was broadcast 2 or 3 times a week, depending on the time of the year, to Europe, Africa, and Latin America. And it was a program for shortwave listeners, DXers, amateur radio operator people. And I was home listening to WRUL Radio. My program wasn't on right then, but I was listening to WRUL Radio on the shortwave radio. I had heard about Adlai Stevenson going to Dallas a few weeks or a month or so before and being attacked, hit with a sign, but I didn't realize that John F. Kennedy was in Texas. I guess I hadn't been following the news in that regard, or hadn't paid any attention. So I was listening to the radio, and they came on the bulletin saying shots had been fired at the presidential motorcade in Dallas, Texas. And, then the information started to come out. And I guess you sometimes wonder, are you a pessimist or are you an optimist? Well, I was thinking, okay, well, the shots probably missed him. Well, then there's more information came. Well, he's probably just slightly, injured or something. So, I didn't want to. Finally, of course, it was announced, and the way the announcement was made, I believe, was a Catholic priest who, turns out, I found out later, used to be the pastor at St. Vincent's Church in Kansas City, the school, the church and the school that I went to, and I knew him. He was the Catholic priest who came outside of Park Lane Hospital, and the news reporters asked him, and he said that he'd given the last right to the president and that John F. Kennedy was dead. Unless you were alive at that time, the effects, every radio and television station in the United States and many all over the world, if not all of them, the programming ceased. It just became music, organ music, or on TV they showed non-stop things about John F. Kennedy and his family. If you weren't alive then, it was just unbelievable. Maybe in the UK when Princess Di died, maybe, I don't think there was, I just don't think there's been, I can't think of any type, and it wouldn't happen again now, I don't, because of cable television and satellite and everything. I don't think but that was all there was for the time. And with everybody else, the grief that I felt was just unbearable and unbelievable. Later, years later, my mother and father would die. I never felt that type of grief that I felt, for John F. Kennedy. Thousands of people died, in the Twin Towers, and I did not feel the kind of grief that I felt. Now, maybe twinges of it, I feel a little bit, but I mean of total devastation or whatever. So I'm not sure if that just totally so drained me, so, I mean, not just me, but other people, just that we couldn't experience that again. Hard to explain. When my mother and father died, I never felt that. It left an indelible mark on, my generation, the people who were alive then. It changed the world. It changed us. November 22nd, 1960, I forgot now, it's 3. Thank you very much.